certain flags, red flags. You can probably help me with some of those.
There are definite red flags for children who bully and children that are being bullied. If your child starts to become withdrawn, if your child seems to be less interested in school, less interested in even going outside, less interested in being around friends, and just not acting normal, you need to look into that. And on the other side of the coin, if your child is hyper-aggressive, if your child always is acting in a threatening manner, if your child is just a menace, you know that something's being manifested under the surface. And I think we need to address both problems.
Absolutely.
And that's why we have different experts that will be on the bullying panel to talk about each and every aspect of bullying and how to combat it.
Let's talk about who's on the panel. Tell me who's on the panel, then we'll go back to those points that you just made.
Well, we have several individuals. We have Dr. Joseph Jennings, who is a former gang member. We'll talk about his experience in being bullied and causing him to join a gang. We have Art Powell, who is a powerful and phenomenal speaker on his experience of being in the gang and how he's transformed himself after spending 8.5 years in prison to let children know that, you know, bullying and gangs are not the way to go. We have Mr. Clinton Rucker, who's assistant district attorney in Fulton County. He's the one who's going to let you know what happens if you violate the bullying law. You will be locked up. Shay Lawson, who's the Miss Black Georgia 2012. She's an ambassador with the specific bullying program. K.O. Cates, who is the music producer and founder of Bridge the Gap, which is an organization that helps at-risk teens. We have Mary Pat Hector, who is a phenomenal 15-year-old speaker. She's part of the National Action Network. She is just a phenomenal individual who can tell her story.
Yes.
We have so many people and so many resources. Of course, I'll be on the panel and I'll talk about bullying, the consequences, and the law. And we just want a town hall meeting where we can really deal with the issue of bullying here in Georgia.
And you know what? It's really about our community.
It is.
And parents, bring your kids, whether you know you're on either side of that, whether you think maybe your child's being bullied, or like you said, and what did you say about the bully, an aggressive?
Oh, you know if your child's hyper-aggressive.
Hyper-aggressive. I love that. If you know that.
And I think that what people need to understand is we are not trying to criminalize anything. We're not trying to point anybody out. We're trying to bring holistic love back to the community. I think that's what Dr. King preached. That's what this day we're going to celebrate in a few days is all about. And that's what tonight's forum is about. We're reaching back in a free seminar how to deal with these issues, because I believe that bullying produces a step towards a criminal justice system. And that's why I got involved in this. I'm passionate about keeping our people out of the system. And if you want to learn steps to keep your child from being labeled a bully, to keep your child from being bullied, you need to come out tonight. And you need to share your experience and learn the resources that are available here in Atlanta. I'm tired of parents calling me and saying, Mr. Griggs, you know, the school system's not doing what needs to be done. Well, tonight, we're going to do what needs to be done. Please come out. Members of school systems, all of them, APS, DeKalb, Clayton, Henry, Cobb. Come on out, educators, so we can learn the real steps to affect real systemic change in the system.
Do you hear a lot from, I guess, just across the board? Some people feel helpless, whether they're educators, because they have restrictions. There's but so much they can do as well.
Yes.
And in certain households, parents, I don't understand it, but parents seem helpless. But do you kind of hear that with a lot of the educators, or just across the board, that folks feel like, what can I do?
And I do, and I think it's miseducation of what their rights are. Many educators feel like that students run the classroom because of the new laws, which is not true. Many parents feel like the kids run their household because they're afraid of defects of the police being called. What people need to understand is it's not against the law to parent. It's not against the law to teach. It's against the law to be cruel and brutal. But we need to raise these children the best we can by knowing where our resources are. That's what tonight is all about. Learn your resources. We need to go back to the old school parenting, where the whole village raised the child.
That's right.
And the village is tonight at the King Center, the birthplace of the Civil Rights Movement on Auburn Avenue.
On his birthday.
Come on out on his birthday, celebrate the dream, and let's make the dream real.